How's it going? Good morning from Houston, Texas. Please ask any questions. Let me know where y'all are watching from. I think that's always fun and interesting. As always, I'm going to go through the Department of State website as you do have questions coming up. And let's see here. One thing I also want to show you is from the Department of State website what the statistics are. Usually we try to provide a separate video about that, but I'm going to go ahead and check out if the government updated it for last month, March. They're a little bit slow about that. For some reason, the way they post it, okay, March is available. Great. Because I know many of y'all are wondering how many visas are issued by the State Department. So I want to give you an idea. So of course, we'll have a separate video where we go with certain countries. All right. But I know a lot of y'all are waiting for the fiance visa. So I'm going to share by each post, by each location. All right, so here we are. But in the meantime, please ask any questions and we'll try our best to answer it. Okay, what I should have done is click on by nationality. Okay. Now, of course, if you have any questions or a question about a specific consulate or country with a visa type, how many, I can definitely check that right now. Give you an example of, a lot of y'all have asking about China in general. China K1 in general for the entire country is 27K visas for fiance. Hi, Kofi. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. By the way, if you would like to join the broadcast, or if you have any questions and want to be on screen, we do have the link down below in the description box. All right. Let's see. Let's check on Brazil. People have a lot of questions about certain countries because of the COVID travel ban and if that's done anything different since then. But Brazil, to give you an example, is only 9 for March. And they don't have April numbers yet because it's still April. It's April 27th. So I believe it does take a couple months to update. Let's check England. All right. Oh, that didn't show up for some reason. Hi, good morning. Nice to see you. By the way, some of y'all are watching us on YouTube or Facebook. We greatly appreciate it. If you're new to the channel or the page, please subscribe so you get all the future notifications, and please share with your friends. But yes, go ahead and ask any questions in the meantime. But I will share my screen so you have an idea what I am looking at here. Okay, let me increase the size so you can see it. Definitely want to show where we get the information. Okay, so here it is. For example, I'll scroll up. Non-immigrant visa issuances by nationality. I just figured that'd be a lot faster. I know some of y'all might have questions about a specific consulate post, and we're happy to check. That'd be a separate website. But many of y'all have questions about like K1. So I believe it's Afghanistan has 10 K1 visas issued last month. Let's see, what's another country that was part of the ban here? Looks like 32 were issued for Armenia for K1. And then let's see here. Australia has 27 K1. Okay, but they weren't part of the COVID ban. So let's see. Wow. Okay, so there's a lot of good data. People ask like how many eh, visitor visas are being issued because they were denied. So they always wonder why that's the case. But it just depends on the country sometimes, and of course, it depends on what people say at the interview. That's very important. If you have any kind of interview, by the way, friends, I have good news to share with you. We just had a client that got approved for a visa, basically a green card for immigrant processing. He had just gone back to Sierra Juarez about a week ago. It is in Mexico, and they're processing cases. They don't. A lot of consulates don't make it known on their website for some reason, but some do, but not many do, even though they are processing interviews. So, for example, he got scheduled for interview. We got the notification by email about at least a month ago. They usually give a 1 month advance notice in general, pre-COVID as well, or pre-pandemic. But to give an idea, he had to get his medical exam, his biometrics for fingerprinting. Those both have to be abroad, back in the birth country. And then today or yesterday was the official interview date, but because of pandemic, you have to give the documents on the interview date. Then I'll ask you usually to come back the next day for the actual interview. So it just reduces the amount of time that you're in the physical space together, which makes sense because of COVID pandemic. And I need to remove that from the screen now. Okay, so so that's what's good news for us. You got approved. So the next step for that, I think I actually may have shared a video about this, or it might be coming up, is what are the next steps after someone has been approved for a visa and for immigrant visa. So that means for resident status, a green card. And so they will give you, once you get the visa information, the packet, you can pay for a $225 fee, immigrant fee. They should just call it green card fee, because then you know what you're actually paying for. You're paying for the card itself. So you want to pay for that as soon as you can, so that as soon as you're approved, so that it reduces the amount of time you're waiting for it, right? And you don't need it. You don't need a physical card at the border, at the airport when you first enter the United States. But we do have as a packet, a sealed visa packet. Okay, and that's what you present to the customs. I see a question. Is there any hope on a pathway for citizenship? There's hope, but I don't rely on hope. Okay, we have to petition, write a letter, whatever way is, of course, conducive, easy for you. But we have to basically request our politicians in our area, district, or region that immigration reform is important to you. Because if you're just relying on the news and just waiting and not doing anything yourself, it takes teamwork to make this work, okay? So that's why our team has created a sample letter. But one way for you to do that, to access this letter, OBA, is, and everyone else, you can, first of all, there's our website down below, okay? We do have a page for resources, and you can access search who your elected official is. That's number one. And then you can fill out the intake form that's also down below. It starts with Ting Law, and you can answer a few questions. You can get an idea of your case, but then we'll also email you a sample letter, okay? So you can encourage your elected official to do something about immigration reform. Don't depend on other people to write something like this. If it's important to you, that's why we provided this sample letter, okay? Let me see here. In the meantime, if I don't see any questions, okay, well, I do see one. Fami, thanks for mentioning that Canada announced PR for essential workers. I'm happy for the folks in Canada, but yeah, you're right. I mean, American politicians, they like to talk, but they're not getting it done. So it's the end of April 27th today. I mentioned on previous live shows, at the earliest, I think, if there's any immigration reform, I think it could be the end of summer. Okay, I know there's many immigration bill proposals in Congress right now, and I definitely agree with you, Fami, that essential workers should be included because really that includes a lot of immigrant, right? Any country you go to that I've gone to, the immigrant class is doing a lot of work that, I guess American citizens don't want to do. So the conservative thought of immigrants taking jobs is pretty ridiculous because I know some American citizens don't want to do certain manual labor. So, and also front lines. It looks like, okay. Okay, so sorry if you're watching on Facebook, it looks on the Facebook group, looks like it's having some network issues, but it should be worked out very soon. But Fami, we will definitely share with y'all, our fans, our viewers, anything about essential workers, because once that comes out, when there's an actual update, there's a lot of YouTube lawyers on YouTube, maybe not a lot, but a few lawyers on YouTube that say they're giving an update, but really it's just politicians doing their usual discussion talks, right? I mean, it's not really an update. So once we see something and read something that's very, I would say, at least a movement, okay, actual movement, then we'll definitely update you. We don't want to provide false hope. That's very important, because there's a lot of work to do, okay, so in terms of Congress, and I don't think they're anywhere close to getting this passed. And the reason, because I say that and why I say the earliest is the summertime, is because there's they're talking about the infrastructure bill, okay? They're talking about that, so the main focus is on that, and also because the quote unquote surge of kids from Central America, and conservatives will use that and already have used that talking point against the immigration reform. So that's why, just trying to wait for timing. I mentioned this several times before, but President Biden is trying to wait for the right time to push certain topics through Congress a little bit more strongly, because of course, usually any president, and especially President Biden, he has a long list of things he wants to accomplish for America, and immigration reform, we all know, is already part of it. I mean, Senator Melendez from New Jersey already filed it, I think, on day one of Congress, basically, or the first week. So we know it's important. There's a lot of people that have proposed, several politicians have proposed their own proposal, immigration reform. So hopefully when it comes down to it, when they finally have strong discussions, more thorough discussions, that number one, it will include essential workers. Because the easy talking point is DACA. Republicans already agree on DACA, the Dreamers. So now we have to push for more people to be included, including essential workers. All right, love, I'm assuming you're saying, where can your husband get his green card? He's coming from Haiti to the U.S. Will they mail it to me, or will they give it to him at the airport? So, okay, so that basically is a question that I kind of mentioned, but I assume you put the address. You have to put an address on that online form, on that website. So hopefully you had whatever address you put. And so if you haven't gotten to that point, if you haven't filled out the form, then you do have the opportunity when you pay the fee on the immigration website, you are able to select or write down the address. So of course I recommend the address in America, okay, where you live at. I can't remember if you've mentioned before if your husband already has the interview or not, but it seems like it's a little early. I remember your previous comments. I don't think he's had the interview yet, but I could be wrong. Your follow-up comment, marriage green card for your I-130. So okay, is it for 2 years? It depends how long you've been married. So if you've been married more than 2 years before you filed for the petition, then he would get the 10-year permanent resident card. But if you've been married for less than 2 years and then file a petition, then it'll be 2 years conditional resident card. And most people have that situation where it's only for 2 years, because I get it. I mean, if you're already married, then why wait 2 years unless you know in advance, I suppose. Okay. So whether it's permanent resident or not, that's not the issue. The fact dependent. It just depends on how long you've been married. So hopefully that answers your question. All right, friends. Well, let me know where y'all watching from, and it's a little gloomy here, so I guess that's why I don't sound as excited. But we do have, if you're just now watching or joining us, we do have great news from our law firm with our client. One of our clients, they just got approved for interview abroad in Mexico, and that's exciting news. We're very, very happy for their family, and that's what we do here, friends. We help clients. There's a client that we help from the very beginning all the way to the end, and it's not over. Of course, he's going to get his resident card, but we want to help clients to become a citizen, United States citizen. Of course, if that's what you want to do, but we recommend steps on how to do that, because here's the deal, friends. The reason why we do this, because we've heard of people, we've had clients come in for the first time, call us and say, I'm a resident holder, but I got stopped at the airport and customs found out about my marijuana possession from 20 years ago. So we want to get that resolved. And the way to resolve that before you even have that type of issue is becoming a U.S. citizen. Because after you become a U.S. citizen, they don't look at your past crimes, okay? Yes, there has been talk, of course, during President Trump administration where they tried to revoke certain people's citizenship, but that's usually the situation where immigration has found out that they've committed fraud, okay? So, of course, assume that you have not committed fraud, and I advise no one to lie, tell the truth, but sometimes you still need to hire a lawyer to understand the type of questions and how to phrase it correctly. You can still phrase it differently, but still tell the truth, okay? That's very important. Let's see here, friends. In the meantime, if you have any questions, welcome to put it in the comment section. And the other thing, friends, most folks that have commented here, I think I recognize your name from before. Great to see you all again. But if you're new to our channel, please fill out, I'm sorry, what I meant to say is we do offer free 15-minute preliminary discussion. See if we can guide you to a certain point, because I understand there's not everyone we can help depending on people's budget or even the facts of your case. So we do offer that, and you have to provide the not so secret code green card, guys, okay? If you're at work and you are busy, you just text this number right here, and you can just text green card, guys, and our cares team will call you within the next business day. Okay, I see a couple comments here. But by the way, if you are new and you're not sure about this and you want more information, we do offer 30 and 45-minute consultation for a fee. You can fill out the intake form down below, and that will definitely save everyone some time. Dan, nice to see you. Let's see. A question you have is, you got the refuse. I'm sorry that you got that. Sorry you got that response from the consulate. Let's see here. Is that normal? Unfortunately, I wouldn't say it's the new normal. It does happen. I wouldn't say like majority of time, but unfortunately a good amount of time. And that's why, Dan, that's one of the main reasons that we file lawsuits. I'm sure you heard from other lawyers, and not every lawyer does this to file a mandamus type of lawsuit, but really to, it sounds like, based on what you're saying on this short comment, of course, that they didn't give you reasons, so they didn't tell you to provide some documents. Sometimes when they give a 221G letter after an interview, then that letter, the document will say, okay, provide a medical exam or provide, a tax return, some kind of document. But there are times where they don't state anything. They don't mention anything in that letter. So then our team will follow up with you to see if, because we have your contact information. We appreciate it. Our team will contact you hopefully later today or tomorrow to get a little bit more information. What we'll be asking is if you did have the interview already, or if your fiance had the interview already, and also if they gave you a letter 221G. Okay. But otherwise, if it said refused only and you didn't have an interview at all, I'm thinking it's a fluke. Okay, because sometimes the internet, what they post on a status update is not 100% accurate. But I would think it's more accurate after you had the interview. So our team will follow up with you, Dan, and we'll talk soon. Okay, Pugzilla 259. Cute name. Is it true Biden is going to pass immigration reform through reconciliation, through infrastructure? Friends, this is what I've been talking about since day one of January 20th of his administration. He's been talking about this a long time ago. He just didn't push it as much before. Is it possible? It sure can be possible. I've listened to other political experts, and they have mentioned that just in general, that they can, for example, even the American Rescue Plan that they passed, I guess a month ago already, that they can amend it and then include other types of, basically other type of proposals, which can include immigration. Is that the right way to do it? I'm not a political expert to answer that type of question, because if it could be done this time and there's a Republican president in the future, imagine what the possible consequences could be. So I think that's why President Biden has been, I guess you could say, tiptoeing or being delicate about doing it this way. And that's why it's important to try to do it in a bipartisan way. Okay, I know that's frustrating, because obviously if we need bipartisan, we need 10 more Republican senators to vote on it. But is it true? I mean, I would say yes, it's true. I mean, to answer your question, because he's been talking about for a long time. At least from what I know, January 20th, when he first took office. So certainly a possibility. Will it actually happen? Hopefully they get at least 10 more Republican senators, and that would solve that issue. Okay. By the way, friends, if you have our old number, or I mean, we still have the number 469 number, but if you call through that number, we'll call you from this 346 number, because it's our headquarters number. So please save it in your phone. Okay, we greatly appreciate it. Romeo. Hello, sir. Can immigration pass outside infrastructure bill without Republican support? Okay, so that basically is the same question as Pugzilla. Yes, it is possible, but trying to do it through bipartisan manner. Okay, friends, so we just have a couple minutes to see. I have to get to a consultation a little bit earlier than normal. So, but if I see another question here, happy to answer it. Otherwise, let me see if there's anything on the Department of State website about visa news for today. And it looks like April 26th. Okay, yesterday. All right. Okay, this is what it says, friends. National is related to national interest exceptions for certain travelers from China, Iran, Brazil, South Africa, Schengen area, UK, and Ireland. They said that presidential proclamations that were created under President Trump, 9984, 9992, 10143, related to spread of COVID-19. As a result of this determination, together with national interest determinations already in place, travelers subject to these proclamations due to their presence in those regions or countries may now qualify for a national interest exception. Okay, this doesn't seem different than what we already know, unless I didn't know something else before. But if you can also, students and academics, I think meaning professors, may qualify for this national interest exception only if their academic program begins August 1st of this year or later. Okay, I don't know why they make that distinction. That seems kind of silly to me. But yeah, if you're starting school August 1st or later, this also includes M1 visas recipients. You also do not, if you're in that category of people, you don't have to contact the embassy or consulate to seek an individual NIE to travel. Okay, I see what you're saying. So what they're trying to say is that it's an automatic approval for NIE if you are if you have a valid F1 or M1 and you're intending to begin or continue academic program starting on August 1st, 2021. Okay, otherwise, if it's a different situation and you're wanting NIE, national interest exception, you do need to contact the consulate, okay? I wish they just phrased this a lot easier. It's kind of ridiculous. So that's why we share this information for you, so you don't have to go through this hassle of reading this. But of course, if you want to know what I'm reading from, you definitely can search online for travel.state.gov and search for the most updated news. Just in general, they're saying they grant NIEs for qualified travelers for the purpose related to humanitarian travel, public health response due to COVID, and national security. Of course, national security is always considered in that. Okay, but yeah, in general, just review your specific website of your nearest U.S. embassy or consulate post for instruction on how to contact them. Okay, friends. I greatly appreciate it. I don't see any other questions for now, but again, if you're just now tuning in, we do offer free 15-minute preliminary discussion for your first time, and please provide this not so secret code green card, guys. And as always, we do provide separate videos with tips and of course news in general. And until next time, friends, please continue wearing a mask.